Ah, Schadenfreude, the twisted phenomenon that is both intriguing and, dare I say, a bit unpleasant. So what exactly is Schadenfreude? Well, my friend, it's the fancy German term for finding pleasure or satisfaction in the misfortunes of others. Yes, you heard that right. It's like taking a sip from a cup of calmer tea and relishing in the missteps of those around us. But before you start feeling guilty, let's dive into the psychology of Schadenfreude and how it affects mental health and society. Now, when it comes to mental health, Schadenfreude can be a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can provide a temporary boost to our own self-esteem. You know that feeling when you see someone who always seems to have it all together face a setback. It's like a little voice inside you saying, hey, maybe I'm not doing so bad after all. It's a way for us to feel better about ourselves by comparison. However, on the other hand, excessive Schadenfreude can be a sign of deeper issues. If someone consistently takes pleasure in the misfortunes of others, it might indicate underlying feelings of envy, insecurity, or even a lack of empathy. It's like a dark cloud hanging over their mental well-being, preventing them from truly connecting with others on a compassionate level. Now, let's talk about how Schadenfreude affects people in society. In small doses, it's a natural part of human nature. We've all had moments where we've chuckled at a clumsy person tripping over their own feet, or secretly celebrated when our rival at work gets reprimanded. It's a fleeting moment of amusement that can even help strengthen social bonds. But when Schadenfreude becomes the main course rather than a side dish, things can take a turn for the worse. It can foster a toxic and divisive environment where people actively seek out the misfortunes of others to satisfy their own cravings for superiority. Just think about how tabloids thrive on celebrity scandals, or how online comment sections can become breeding grounds for negativity. So what are some examples of Schadenfreude in action? Well, picture this. Your annoying co-worker, who always brags about their perfect life, suddenly gets a flat tire on their way to an important meeting. You can't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction, right? Or maybe you're watching a talent show on TV and you secretly hope that the overly confident contestant will mess up their performance. It's those moments when our inner mischievous side comes out to play. Now let's dive a little deeper into the phenomenon Schadenfreude. One interesting aspect of this phenomenon is its evolutionary roots. Some psychologists argue that it may have served as a survival mechanism in our ancestral past. Picture this. In a hunter-gatherer society, if someone in your group made a mistake or faced a misfortune, it could potentially benefit the rest of the group. It could serve as a warning sign or a lesson for others to avoid similar situations. So, in a way, Schadenfreude might have helped our ancestors learn from the mistakes of others and improve their chances of survival. Nowadays, Schadenfreude often takes on different forms in our everyday lives. Think about the world of sports, for example. When our favourite team's rival loses a game, there's often a sense of joy and satisfaction. It's not just about the victory of our own team, but also the pleasure derived from the defeat of the opponent. It's a way for us to connect with fellow fans and share in the collective celebration. In the realm of social media, this phenomenon can also rear its head. We've all seen those viral fail videos or embarrassing moments captured on camera. They tend to gather a lot of attention and engagement, and it's hard to resist clicking on them. It's like a guilty pleasure, a momentary escape from our own lives as we watch others stumble and fall. But it's important to remember that behind those videos are real people, and their misfortunes can have real consequences. Schadenfreude can also have political dimensions. In the world of politics, people often take pleasure in the scandals or failures of their opponents. It's not just about winning elections or advancing a certain agenda, it's about experiencing the downfall of those we perceive as adversaries. This can lead to a polarised and hostile political climate, where empathy and understanding are often overshadowed by the desire to see the other side suffer. It's worth noting that not all cultures embrace Schadenfreude in the same way. In some cultures, there's a stronger emphasis on empathy and compassion, while in others, Schadenfreude may be more socially acceptable or even encouraged. These cultural differences can shape how individuals experience and express this phenomenon. In conclusion, Schadenfreude is a complex psychological phenomenon. It can provide a temporary boost to our self-esteem, but excessive indulgence in it can indicate deeper emotional issues. It has the power to both bring people together through shared amusement and create a toxic environment of negativity. So the next time you find yourself reveling in someone else's misfortune, take a moment to reflect on the underlying motivations and consider the impact it may have on your own mental health and the world around you. After all, a little empathy goes a long way.